Hi, boo. Greetings and blessings. You guys are lucky you're getting 2 videos within a matter of days. I have a little bit of extra time, so I can dedicate or allocate some of that time to discussing a couple of items. I want to talk about protection spells and curses and hexes. I did a video on hexes and curses and what that looks like, but I really didn't explain much on how it affects you when you are the subject or the target of a hex or curse. In Creole we call that expédition. And what you should do to protect yourself, and how do you know if you're cursed or not. And sometimes it's not easy to determine that. We all go through strings of bad luck sometimes, and it has nothing to do with being cursed or hexed. It's just a cycle. We have cycles of good luck, we have kind of neutral cycles where nothing's happening at all, and then we have cycles of bad luck. However, when certain things happen in sequence and for a long duration of time, and when there is evidence that's clear as day that something has been done, like for example, you found powder laid up in front of your house, your car, and even at your workstation, subsequently followed by a series of unfortunate events, yes, you can bet that somebody did something to you. Now, those that are really adept and good at it will lay down stuff for you or set traps without you knowing. Then you've got those who just go to spiritualists or bokos or whatever you want to call them, like me, although that doesn't mean that I do that necessarily just willy-nilly. They get the powder and they lay it down in the front of their enemy's doorstep or at their desk, and some people are stupid enough to touch it. If you can't see it, you might step on it, especially hot foot powder. And then the effects start taking hold fairly quickly. Now, some of this stuff is even poisonous. The powders, these kinds of spells that entail powder and poisons, are the hardest one to treat. They're absorbed directly into your skin, into your system, and aside from having real chemical and sometimes biological effects, you've got the addition of it being boosted as a spell work. So these usually take hold fairly quickly, and you need to get treated as fast as possible as well. And unfortunately, there are types of poison that once ingested, there is no saving. You can actually die. That's the extent to which some people go against some of their enemies. So you will notice that things start happening. Maybe more arguments in the house, more than usual. Your car breaks down. You lose your job. Money, repairs you didn't anticipate. People, family members getting sick. Your pets acting funny in the house. You may have bad dreams. And in some cases, you may even have manifestations of spirits that are up to no good, causing strife in your home. Things that normally never happen to you suddenly start happening in sequence fairly rapidly and for a long period of time. When that happens, then you certainly need to look into it. Either get a reading, most likely a reading more than anything else. See a spiritualist so that the nature of the harm done against you can be determined, and the strength also of the harm. Some people are good at it and will cause you hell, and for a very long time. Some people are so-so, and you'll just get the effects temporarily, but you still will need a cleansing. So there are different ways to curse people and hex people. Candle magic is probably the simplest form. You can use, some people use their spirits, their familiars, and they send them to torment you. Some people use spirit of dead people, what we call zombie in Haiti. Now, I know a lot of you think of zombies as people that just rise from the dead and whatnot, and that's a video for another day, because I also don't want people to have misperceptions or misconceptions on voodoo as a religion. It's too often it's tagged with things that you see in the media and the news and whatnot, and you get the wrong impression and you think that this is all voodoo is about. No, it's not. It's a way of life. It's a spiritual life. It's deep. Magic is just part of it. And then you have those who practice other forms of magic that are not tied into voodoo, and that people mistake as such. We have Sampuel in Haiti. We have oh my God, I forgot all of the other names. We have all these other secret societies. You have Bokos that serve with left hand only. So you have different paths that use magic. And so a zombie is also the spirit of a dead person sent to torment you. And one of the more, if you're familiar with Intranquil Spirit, it's pretty much the same principle, right? When that happens, you really need to tackle it head on, not waste time, because these are kind of wasting spells also, pardon the pun, meaning that they intensify over time and things tend to get worse. And so when that happens, you're demoralized, you feel defenseless, and you just need to take care of it right away. And usually it's not always simple. It may entail with baths, usually uncrossing and cleansing baths, followed by protection baths, and in some cases forms of exorcism in your house to remove evil spirits. It requires cleansing your house also from top to bottom, purifying it, and then making offerings to your ancestors, your spirits and whatnot. Out with the bad, in with the good. And so those are the ways in which these things can manifest, and these are the steps that you need to take to address them. Now, if you are gifted yourself, you can handle it on your own, that's fine. But when it's too strong, don't try to sometimes do things on your own. Sometimes you have no idea what you're messing with or what's messing with you. And you want to make sure that it's done properly. So, of course, I'm not going to go into the details of exactly how these spells are done or cast, but I do want to talk now about protection. Now, the best protection is always preventive or preemptive also. Preventive in the sense that, first of all, you should pray every day. You shouldn't wait for shit to happen to ask God for help. Prayer is very powerful, and sometimes, although you might still be under attack, but it can minimize the effects, and also, and in some cases, get rid of the problem altogether. So don't dispel or dismiss prayer as one of your strongest allies. Pray to your ancestors. They will come faster than anything else to help you either in protection or guide you to the person that will help you out. Pray to your spirits, whether it's angels, your lois and whatnot. Do that regularly, because you just basically want to wear that as an armor, so that any attempt done against you already may bounce off before it even takes root, right? And sometimes these spirits can also guide your intuition so that you don't fall into traps. So prayer. Incense is also very effective. Universal incense is frankincense and myrrh, but there are other things that you could use also to clear the air in your home. Sage is excellent also. Smells very strong though. What other incense can you use? Usually you can buy them at the Botanica, anything that says protection or whatnot. Dragon's blood incense is also very good for protection. You can also place some camphor cubes in clear glasses of water and place that under your bed to keep evil spirits away, near your door, near your altars, to keep negative effects away. Sprinkle salt in your doorways. Now, not just any salt, it should be either kosher or sea salt. They create barriers. If you're into crystals, you can bury crystals around your home and create a protective grid. And then you have baths, protective baths that you can take on a monthly basis after a cleansing. So these are little rituals that you can do on your own to protect yourself. If you've been the subject of an attack, then before you would take a protection bath, for example, you definitely have to do your uncrossing, and I've mentioned that in other videos, where anything that you do, whether it's a luck bath or anything, I always recommend people taking a cleansing first, whether something is going on or not. Because taking any other bath without taking a cleansing is basically like spraying cologne or perfume on your body without taking a shower. I don't know how else to explain that. So, in terms of protection, you can also light candles if you're into angels. Saint Michael or the Archangel Michael is very good for that. Red is a good candle to burn for protection. Red is an aggressive color. It is a defensive and an attack color. So you can use that. When you're not sure, just use a white candle. White is universal. And it's probably the safest also if you're not experienced with candle work. You can dress the candle with some protection oil. And you can leave offerings for your ancestors. Sometimes we get attacked and our spirits allow us to get attacked because we forgot our duties or our promises towards them. And so they take a step back and they just let stuff happen to us, right? Now, speaking of which, there are two forms of cross conditions, or hexing, if you will, if you want to use that term loosely, that are caused not by people, but in a way by you. And the first one is when you forget about your ancestors, and if that's your path and you make promises and you break them, your own spirits can come and basically spank you. In which case, no measure of really uncrossing will work. It's just making things right with your spirits and living up to your promises, right? And it doesn't get better. If you don't pay attention to them, the intensity of the punishments will increase. And the other form is really when you curse yourself, and that has to do with your mental state of mind. If you're constantly repeating, I'm unlucky, I'm unlucky, I'm unlucky, these are things that will manifest in your life. And when shit starts happening to you, forgive my language, you also reinforce it if you keep on saying, oh my God, this is always happening to me. Why? What's next tomorrow? And so your state of mind plays a great role also in you effectively cursing yourself and creating that energy where stuff keeps on happening and bad luck just enters your life, your home, and starts affecting people around you. So that's another way that you can get cursed. Now, why people do this, on the other hand, why do you have enemies? Well, you know what? Unfortunately, humans are petty, and a lot of them are evil. And so if there's jealousy, if someone is just purely evil, if they want your job, they want you to get fired, They want your man or your woman. They'll do stuff to you. In this line of business, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. On that note, there is something I wanted to mention, and yet it has escaped my mind. But nonetheless, you know, yes, here it is. If you know you are going to deal with someone that is involved in this stuff, and you're going to take like a step, like you're going to sue somebody, or you're having issues at work, before you do anything, you should protect yourself. Use some protection rituals. Take some protection baths. This way, you are already prepared if the person that you have an issue with is ready to retaliate. You already have your guards up, and you're ready for a fight. So the devil is in the details. Whoops, pardon the pun. Make sure before you start something that may entail or lead to conflict with somebody else. And hopefully when you do that, you're also in the right. You're not beefing with somebody and you're in the wrong. Just make sure that you prepare yourself also. And just like somebody in the military, you get your defenses up and be ready for retaliation so that it has minimal or no effect at all. Now, some things that happen require more than just a reversal candle, because I know people use reversal candles. I use them also in spell work. But if it is something that is severe, you will need a bath. If a bath cannot be shipped to you, then you should try to find somebody local that will help you with your situation. And if it's really bad, like I said, don't try to go it alone. Definitely you should pray and do some stuff to cleanse your home, but get some help. Get some help, whether it's me or anyone else for that matter. Don't tackle this on your own. So pay attention to the things that are unusual. If you have a prolonged period of bad luck, illness that suddenly occurs out of nowhere, and your dogs, your pets, that's happened to me where I've seen my dogs, when I had dogs, act funny and looking around and as if they're staring at something when something's in the house. Of course, I took care of it. That was back in the days. Or, if somebody starts seeing, sometimes, other people in the house will start noticing things that manifest. Pay attention to what your children tell you if they're having dreams or if they have visions. If you find powder laid out in front of your home, at your workstation and all of this stuff, you need to be careful and take action. Some of you folks don't believe in that. That's fine. And if you don't, I don't know why you're watching this video in the first place. But for those of us who know how the world operates and have some familiarity with the mysteries of this world, these are not things to be taken lightly. And on the note of protection, this is something that you should be doing regularly. I think I mentioned that in the beginning of the video. Always, always, always protect yourself. Always pray, go out with faith, avoid conflict if at all possible. Be aware, pay attention to your surroundings. Some communities have much more of this stuff than others. Especially the Caribbean folks. Sorry, I know my brothers and sisters. Pay attention to that. Try to look for things that seem out of place. And sometimes things are buried on your property and you don't even know it, right? And in which case you need somebody to help you find where they buried some charms or things to cause you harm on a consistent basis. So this is my note. This is probably the longest video I've made. It's almost 20 minutes on spells, on protection spells and curses, on the importance of protection, and how to recognize if you are cursed or not. And sometimes, believe it or not, it will be your own relatives, your own family, those closest to you, that will be doing stuff like that. Don't put it past anyone. On that note, I sincerely wish you blessings a happy life, a positive spiritual life. And if you have any questions, you are free to look me up, contact me through Bosu's Lair, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, take care until next time.